Hey there, Scorpio. Welcome to your reading for the week, or no, this is for November 2025. And you start here with this meditate and contemplate card and this card that says a time to give rather than take. And so, sure, yes, it is Mercury retrograde this month, starting on the 9th. So it is a good time for meditation, contemplation, thinking, processing your thoughts, all those other good things. You have this card that says a time to give rather than take, and you also start with the Empress here. The Empress, I kind of feel like the message is different than it. It's not saying a time to give rather than take. What I think it's saying is that it's time to receive. Basically, the Empress is in Empress mode. She's in receptive mode. She is, instead of like working hard, she is receiving abundance. And I definitely feel it would be a better time for you to think about that, like how you can receive more or get more. This could include like asking for a raise or promotion or something else. It could represent, kind of making sure that you're paying attention to how much you're giving to things as well. She really makes sure that she doesn't over give to anything in her life. She gives enough. And so, she doesn't necessarily like over deliver on anything. And I think it would be a good time for you to like just pay attention to your energy and who you give what to and all that other good stuff with the Empress. I do also feel like you could be very attractive this month here, Scorpio. You are the only person that you have the Page of Cups and the Lovers, and you're the only person so far that's really had love really showing up in their reading. So, if you're looking for love, I would definitely put yourself out there. You have the Six of Pentacles. Again, Six of Pentacles is equal give and take, but he is giving to this person, not this person over here. So I feel that, paying attention to your giving, like I already said, is going to be important this month, and probably for the foreseeable future for you, Scorpio. Especially if you are an overgiver, maybe it's time to now receive. And I kind of feel the Six of Pentacles is asking you to pay attention to that. So again, if you're in situations where you're not receiving enough, then maybe it's time to change. This isn't just love. This is every area of your life. Everything that you do, everything you interact with. It's like, do you actually get something for what you're doing, or are the things you're doing stealing from you? And again, I can't answer that question. You have to answer that question. You have to think about it. And I think the more you can invest in things that invest in you, the better your life will get this month. And that's what I would be focusing on. You have the Page of Cups. Again, definitely could be love. I kind of feel like this could be a surprise. You have the Tower here, which you always get the Tower with me, funny enough. But you have the Star, so I wouldn't really worry about the Tower. And as I always say, the Tower is not a bad card. I don't care what anyone says. It is a change in your reality, but, again, that could be a good thing for the most part. And, again, the whole entire reading is positive. So one card does not make a reading bad, right? And this could be a surprise connection for sure. I would also say that if you are doing something like moving or changing jobs or changing your environment, that could also be the thing that is bringing in a connection. So if you want love and you're going through some sort of change in your life, then that change could be bringing love. But let's see. And again, it could be a little bit unexpected. I don't think it's like totally unexpected, but you might just not be looking for it. With the Empress, you have the Eight of Cups. Yes, walking away from things that no longer serve you. Exactly what I was saying on the Empress in the first place. I mostly was saying it because of that Virgo card that says a time to give rather than take. But again, that's not really the message I'm getting on that card. I think it's more talking about you making sure that you're receiving. That is the message of the first row in this reading. And so the Eight of Cups, he is walking away from something. He is walking away from these 8 cups. Those 8 cups do give him something, but not enough. And he's choosing not to settle. That's where the true power comes from with the Eight of Cups. When we choose to not settle for less than we deserve. And when we do that, the universe is like, they're serious about what they want, so now they can have it. So I would get serious. With the Six of Pentacles, you have the Sun, which is amazing. We have the Empress, Sun, and the Star. This is my glow-up combination, Sun, Empress, Star in a reading. But also the Sun makes the whole entire reading more positive. Again, it could make this Tower more positive, even though I don't think the Tower is negative in your reading anyway. But the Sun kind of says the sun is shining on you. With the Page of Cups, you have the Six of Pentacles again. So I feel that making sure that you are investing enough is really important, and making sure you're not over investing in anything is also important. I would also say this is important financially as well. In the middle of the month, we're going to have Uranus is going to move back into Taurus. And so if you do work with money or finances, or if you invest money or have investments, it would be a good time to pay attention to those things. I would be careful of making new investments as well. Again, Uranus and Taurus doesn't say that we shouldn't make financial investments. It just says that we should be making wise investments. If you don't know why you're investing in something, then the answer is no. If you have done your research and you do have a good reason why, then you will probably make a bunch of money. I've been talking about this for years with Uranus and Taurus. It's like, if you do your research, if you have read the white paper, if you have read the newspaper, and you understand like why you're giving a company, for example, money, if you're an investor, then you'll do great. But Uranus and Taurus just doesn't like get rich quick. If you think, oh, I'm going to invest in this new AI company, it's going to take off. Probably not. But if you have, again, done all your research, then things can go well. But this also goes for other areas of your life. So I think it could be a really good time for you to research like why you are doing things. And if you have a good answer, great, keep going. If you don't, then it's time to, reassess where your energy is going this month here, Scorpio. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this pressure card. Yes, it says you always get stuff that says this. It says, be aware of how family influences and social pressures are influencing your career choices. It's like this has been the one challenge for Scorpio in 2025 is family pressure, other people pressure. You have this dependent card. It says you can't fully come into your power if you rely on others for financial support. So again, I think a lot of you could be thinking a lot about pressures that other people are putting on you, or maybe even how much you rely on other people. I guess it depends, but definitely something to think about. And I would be careful of other people trying to live your life for you as well with these two cards. You have the Three of Pentacles, the Tower, and the Three of Wands. I do feel like there is a Tower moment for some of you if you're working on a group project or something like that with other people. There could be a Tower moment here. I kind of feel this might only apply to literally one of you out there, but again, you might, if you're working on a group project or starting a business with a friend or something, and they seem like they're not really that into it, it's probably because they aren't, and, for lack of a better term. But I also do feel the universe is saying you could do it on your own. It's like I've heard so many stories over the years of people who have started podcasts with other people, and then those people come up with issues or have problems with everything. That's kind of the feeling I get here, where it's saying you could really do something on your own if you're having that issue. This month is a great month for water signs to show off their work as well. So if you have been building anything or working on something, he's putting his work on display. And the Three of Pentacles is a card of quality work. He's getting credit for the work that he has done. So it might be a good time for you to put your work on display here, Scorpio. You have the Tower. Again, the Tower is your card, Scorpio, but the Tower can represent coming down to reality. These people are coming down to reality. They've been ignoring reality for too long, and now they're seeing reality for how it is. But again, this is a good reading. You have very good cards here. So I feel for a lot of you, this could be a pleasant surprise that's happening for you. We'll have to see what else comes up throughout the reading. But, again, I think you could be getting a little bit of a surprise here. You have the Three of Wands. Yeah, I kind of think for the next, probably at least 7 years or so, that water signs are going to keep getting the Three of Wands. I mean, it is definitely time for water signs to take up more space, to expand, to share their ideas with the world, to get credit for their ideas, all that stuff, and to take the lead. So I think all water signs are really being asked to, put themselves out there. It's also an amazing time to explore new things. He has these boats on the water here, and he's standing in his comfort zone, but, the card itself wants him to go on an adventure. He has no clue where those boats are going, but he needs to get on those boats. The other thing that's popping into my head for you, Scorpio, is that, those boats, when the story of the card is that when he's looking at that water, it's golden in color, so he thinks he's looking at the desert. But when he looks closer, he sees the boats and he realizes that he's looking at water. And so there could be an opportunity for you this month, and you have the Ace of Wands here. You have some really good cards. There could be an opportunity where if you look at it at first, maybe it doesn't seem like much of an opportunity. But if you give something a second look, it might be a much bigger opportunity than you realize. And the Three of Wands, sometimes, and I almost never say this, but sometimes I think that it wants us to take a second look at an opportunity. So if you're getting any big opportunities this month, maybe you think you don't have the resources, maybe you feel like you don't have the time or whatever, it might be worth it to take a second look. With the Three of Pentacles, you have the Seven of Wands. Yeah, I would protect your work at this time. The Three of Pentacles, he is putting his work on display. He has built something, beautiful. It's a card of quality work, but he's also followed a plan. And, it might be a good time for you to kind of like keep your work to yourself, or just let the results speak for themselves. I think that's a better way to put it, because, the problem is right now we have Pluto in Aquarius for 19 more years. And with Pluto in Aquarius, we have to be like the star. We have to show off. We have to show our work. But the problem with that also is that, maybe if people criticize our work, we won't want to do it. So there's kind of like this weird energy with that. I think the trick is to just let your results speak for themselves. If you're getting a result, that's all that matters. And put your results out into the world. But what I would keep to yourself is the work, as in, don't tell people what you're doing. Just do it and show it off, right? And I feel that's what you should do here. With the Tower, you have the Four of Swords. Some of you could be healing from a Tower moment. You've been getting the Tower with me all year, all 2025. So, maybe you're finally healing from a long-term Tower moment, or, this is kind of like Dark Night of the Soul or reinvention energy. Obviously, if you're going through changes, that could kind of be like a Tower, and now you're finally healing. Again, Mercury retrograde this month, so it is a great month to heal, rest, relax, recover, all that other good stuff. With the Three of Wands, you have the Devil here. The Devil can represent toxic vibes, toxic people, which we kind of talked about, or people who are trying to get in your way. So I would be careful of those types of people. I think the whole entire first two rows are talking about your investment in things. And the Devil is an energy vampire. So I would be making sure that you remove any energy vampires from your life, anything that's stealing your vibe, and, give to those things that lift you up. The other thing here, I actually do feel kind of good about the Devil. The Devil can represent setting yourself free. Those people, normally, they have those chains that hang down to like here on their chest. They could easily lift those chains from around their necks and set themselves free. And you have the Three of Wands here, so in the Wheel of Fortune. So, again, if you've been dealing with something toxic or a toxic situation, then you could really be setting yourself free at this time, and it might not really be that big of a deal. So, I think that's a good, pretty much a good thing. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this Community card and this Clarify card. A lot of clarity during this Mercury retrograde, so you could be getting clarity. The Community thing is you could be getting clarity on the people that actually support you in your life this month here, Scorpio, and of course that would be a good thing as well. So I would, be paying attention to that. Scorpio, also make sure to like and leave a comment. Really helps me out. But you have the Ace of Wands, the Lovers, and the Wheel of Fortune. Ace of Wands is a passionate new beginning. It is out with the old, in with the new. And so there really could be like some sort of fresh start coming in for you, even after that Tower moment. The Tower, after those people, they're supposed to rebuild this Tower stronger, and they're supposed to build it back better. And so a lot of you could be, building something back better at this time, especially if you're working on something new. Sometimes with the Ace of Wands, I think that we are just letting something crumble. The castle in the background of the card is crumbling. It represents out. That's why the card represents out with the old, in with the new. We have Neptune retrograding in Saturn right now. And it will move back into, Neptune is retrograding in Pisces right now. It's going to move back into Aries at the beginning of the year. And so Neptune retrograde dissolves something in our lives. And, the castle is kind of like dissolving in the background. You have the Tower. That could be something that is dissolving or going away. The beautiful thing I would say about Neptune and Pisces is that it's not like something is just going to be ripped away from you overnight, but what it does mean is that you might be noticing that something isn't good for you anymore, or something doesn't support you. I always tell people, it's like, with Neptune retrograde in Pisces, it's like you can realize that you don't like your job, and it could just be that simple. Does that mean you have to quit your job? Not necessarily. Like, during Neptune and Pisces, if you stayed at your job, you'd probably be fine for the most part. You wouldn't like it, but you would probably be fine. But really, Neptune and Pisces says, hey, you don't like this. You should go do something else. You should go use this energy to find something else that isn't dissolving in your life. But, the Ace of Wands is my favorite card in the tarot. It is like that spark of hope, that spark of inspiration. So I think a lot of you could finally be getting that like sudden spark of hope or spark of inspiration. Tower, Star, and this Ace of Wands. And you have so many great cards. Sun, Empress, it's like you're being inspired to build something great. You have the Lovers. Definitely could be love. Again, you're like the only person so far that has legitimately had love in their reading. So if you want love, could be a passionate new connection coming in love for sure. I think there's like a little bit of a risk involved here. You have the Fool right next to it. Usually with the Fool, we have to take some sort of like leap of faith to be, especially in like a love situation. It can represent, a new beginning, but the Fool can as well. But we have to kind of like take the leap with the Lovers card for whatever reason, when these two come up next to each other. The Lovers can also represent having a choice to make. It traditionally was a card of being at a crossroads, and traditionally, again, it represented making a choice in love. But I think that the Lovers can be any choice that you're making. And really, I think the answer is very simple. You just have to move towards your inspirations with the Star. You have the Wheel of Fortune. I think this is a month where you could change your fortunes, Scorpio. I think all three water signs had the Wheel of Fortune. And I do like the end of the year for water signs. I even like November. Even though there's a Mercury retrograde, I think it's a good month for water signs in general. Again, this isn't going to magically happen at this time, unfortunately. But, I think that if you put in the effort to change your fortunes, you will. So it's worth it. The other thing that I feel for you, Scorpio, and pretty much for all water signs, although you're the only person I'm saying this to in November out of all the water signs, is that like something will be worth it. I think that maybe, if there's something that you're thinking about working on that you've tried in the past that didn't work out for you, I think it would be worth it to try again. And we do have Mercury retrograde, which is kind of a good time to try again. And so, this could be like an old project, an old idea that didn't work out for the past. Didn't I say this to you recently? Like, as I'm saying that, I'm having major deja vu here, Scorpio. So it's like maybe I've said that to you before. I might have said that to you on the last retrograde as well. And it would kind of make sense because, this is our last chance with Neptune and Pisces. Neptune and Pisces is a big impossible dream. So if you didn't take advantage of it last retrograde, take advantage of it this one. And, don't be afraid of trying like a project, an idea, or something that will change your fortunes again. The other thing I want to say here is it's like I'm getting the word chance. It's like, but what I mean is that you should take a chance on chance. It's like if you have to, let's say that you want something that you would have to like apply for. For example, it's like that is a form of chance. You're taking a chance of applying and not getting something. I'm not saying this is like a loan or something, but this could be like a, like a opportunity at work or business that maybe you have to like apply for or something. I don't know. I would take a chance this month. With the Ace of Wands, you have the Two of Swords. You have to see this. Three of Wands, Two of Swords, Ace of Wands, those three cards. It's like needing to see that something is an opportunity, right? Like I said, he thinks he's looking at the desert on the Three of Wands. I think there really could be a surprise opportunity this month, but you might just not see it at first, or you might not see the opportunity in it at first. And so, anything that's presented to you, I would take a second look. With the Lovers, you have the Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords can be lying, cheating, stealing. With the Devil and the Seven of Swords and the Tower, I would definitely be careful of a liar, cheater, stealer. Again, I think if you're attracting a new person, they'll be fine. But, this Mercury retrograde definitely could be, if this is a past person who's coming back from the past trying to ruin your day, that is what I would be careful of with those cards. I personally like the Seven of Swords. Like, yeah, it can be liar, cheater, stealer, but it's also a card of doing things in a different way. He is stealing those swords from an army in the background. So instead of going to war, he's stealing the swords. And you can basically say there's a better way to do anything that you're trying to do. With the Wheel of Fortune, you have the Wheel of Fortune. Take a chance here, Scorpio. I feel there's an opportunity of chance. Sorry, I just threw these cards everywhere. But I think there's like an opportunity of chance that, I the word I was getting is like apply. Like maybe you have to apply for something. I don't necessarily think that's true for all of you. But, that's how it's popping into my head, is that, it would be you taking a chance to apply on something. And I would definitely do it, for sure. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this cosmic egg hatching. It says, what you've been waiting for is ready to be. Your patience is about to be rewarded. There you go. You have this entanglement card. It says, if you realize you're in an entanglement, it may be time to move on or take a break. Devil, Tower, Seven of Swords. Again, you could be choosing to have a Tower moment. You could be deciding, I'm not going to settle for less. I'm going to walk away from this connection. If you're in an entanglement and walking away, it's coming up in the good stuff. So, obviously that would be a good thing. But I also think with this cosmic egg hatching, like something you've been waiting for is coming. You have the Four Cups, the Fool, and the Star. The Four Cups can represent having been disappointed 3 times before and getting another opportunity. But again, he needs to accept this 4th opportunity, that 4th cup into his life, because it will be very good for him. And but it's coming up in the good stuff. So again, this could be the opportunity or an opportunity that you are receiving. And you might just have to take a second look or look at it again. But at the same time, it's coming up in the good stuff, so you'll probably take it. You have the Fool. I really like the Fool in the good stuff because it is a new beginning, and he is kind of like happy-go-lucky. He's in that energy of being happy-go-lucky, which, you could be more in that energy. It also would say you're more willing to like adventure or go on an adventure right now, which also would be good, but definitely could be a very positive new beginning. You have the Star. I really feel like luck is on your side here, Scorpio. I feel if you're taking a chance, luck is on your side, is what I feel like saying. It's like, it would be worth it. The Star, she's hoping and wishing and praying for something. She's asking, these ripples, let's put it this way, these ripples going out on the water here, that represents the pool of universal consciousness, and those ripples are like her asking the universe for something. She's sending the vibrations out into the pool. So a lot of you could finally be like getting something you've been asking for or wishing for in general. With the Four of Cups, you have the Two of Pentacles. Yeah, Two of Pentacles, like work hard, play hard. In the good stuff, this can represent like a settlement. I almost do feel that you're getting a settlement, but like from the universe, It's like it's almost like this is your reward that you're getting at the end of the year here for all the hard work you've done. Or if 2025 has just been, a big Tower moment, which is definitely possible, then you could be kind of like coming out on top in that situation. With the Fool, you have the Chariot, definitely a victory, so there could be a big victory coming in for you. He is setting himself apart. He's leaving the city behind him behind. So if you are leaving anything behind, which it does look like some of you could be, then this could be leading to a victory in your life, which is great. With the Star, you have the Eight of Swords. Yeah, Eight of Swords is self-imposed restriction. In the good stuff, this would really say that you are now setting yourself free from something that has kept you stuck, and it could definitely be a Tower, or again, if you've been having a Tower moment all year, that could be the thing that you are setting yourself free from. We're going to pull some cards from the Oracle of the Radiant Sun. You have this manipulation card. This is a good card. It's like as above, so below. It's not like bad manipulation. It's good manipulation. It's manipulating energy. So I think it would be a great time for you to practice manipulation of energy. Here you go. You have this resourcefulness card. The whole entire reading is talking about your resources. Empress, Six of Pentacles twice. It's like where you put your energy is going to be very important for you, not only this month, but I would say for the rest of the year, really until like March. I would be making sure that if you give something energy, you're getting something back. And if you do that, I think things will go well. You have this order card. Don't worry about the order. South Node and Virgo. We have the South Node and Virgo right now. I definitely feel this for you, Scorpio. The problem with South Node and Virgo, especially for you, is that it tries to make you be perfect. It's like it's too much perfection energy. And so if you have a plan in your head and you're we are in a little bit of a confusing time because the energy is saying we need to have a practical plan. But if we are too strict with the order that plan happens in, then it's probably not going to happen. It's like we need to have a plan, but also be flexible with the plan. It's like, does it really matter if you do step number 3 before step number 2? Probably not. So, again, it's like sometimes we have to move some things around. We have to be willing to juggle a little bit, and I do feel that card is saying that. Yes, your next card is this versatility card. You have to be versatile. It's like sometimes you might try to hammer a screw into a board with a hammer, but you should be using a screwdriver, right? So it's like this card is saying, like, sometimes you need to make sure that you're using the right tool for the job. And I would just double check the tools you're using to get things done. And finally, you have this power card. You could be gaining a lot of power and authority. Again, I think it is a good time for water signs to, if you want to become an authority figure, if you want to stand out or become a leader, now is definitely the time. But this looks pretty good, Scorpio. So thank you for being here. Make sure to leave a comment. Really helps me out. And definitely enjoy your month.